Setting escapes again today. This yard's done okay. Not great. Not terrible. I've got a few mixed nukes in here that I moved in because I needed to get them out of, they were sitting on the ground in other yards and stuff, so I moved them out here to reorient them and get them fed. They were nearly starving when I brought them out. They weren't doing anything, and now, a few weeks of feed, they're ready to have a feeder pulled. They're just about ready for winter. That's a good looking colony there. Love it when I open a box up like this and see the frosting on the top of the frames, everything drawn out nice and straight. Good looking brood pattern. That's good. That's really good stuff. That makes me happy. So Parker just had a come apart. He got attacked by this giant cicada. I don't know what species that is, but he picked this block up and it was inside it. Started squawking and flapping. Oh man. We got the road grader fixing our road up, so the ride out of here will be a little quicker. I've got to go like 2.5 miles out of here and it takes me 10 minutes. That is a northern dusk singing cicada. There he goes. That's pretty wild. After pulling honey, and we came across a hive that I bred from in the spring. They're always gentle, they're productive, fun to work. They don't cross comb a lot. And they've got a blue pin right there, which means I've seen visible VSH. And this is one of their frames. All these open cells is uncapped recap behavior, and the empty cells are probably where they've taken brood out. You can see some of these right in there. They're actively chewing brood down in response to mite infestation. Right down here somewhere. Right there. I opened that up so I could see it a little better. They're chewing out a drone brood. So this one has got quite a bit of VSH expression. They have consistently good mite samples. Good population, productive hive, and they're not swarmy, so I don't ask for a whole lot more than that. That's the heaviest honey box I've felt in a while. That's an honest 50 pounds, maybe a little more. It's really nice to sit back and watch this being done. My back's feeling better already just watching you do that. My back won't be hurting tomorrow. Near as bad. I haven't been in these hives in quite a while. I don't know what it is, but different hives have different colored propolis, and the ones that make this orange propolis, and lots of it, typically do really well for me. The boxes are going to be very difficult to get apart. They are propolized, ready for winter time almost. They're going to be very difficult to get them apart, but I don't know what it is about that orange propolis. I don't know if it comes from a different tree species or what. A lot of hives will have propolis that looks like peanut butter, kind of a brown color. So overall, I'd say the hives in this yard are doing better than most. As I'm moving from south to north, extracting, and I just opened the top box on these, and they drew this box out this year and filled it. That's in the top, so I don't think I under-supered it. I may have, but I don't think I did. So if they've got 3 boxes of honey on here, that's really my goal, is 3 boxes of honey. That'll net about 80 to 90 pounds typically. This is one of my original Corey Stevens VSH queens. This is her 3rd year. Can't complain about queen quality. She hasn't swarmed. Of course, she was split in the spring. Brood pattern still looks pretty good. She made 3+ boxes of honey in a yard that didn't average that. And they're workable. They're not the gentlest hive I've got, but they're definitely not the hottest. They're very workable. Well, you really can't control, you can't complain about that kind of longevity and production at this age. Really, I'd focus on getting queens that are 2 years old replaced in their 3rd year. This one, we'll let her go to next year, see how she does. Last time I asked Parker if he wanted to catch a fish after a day of work, I ended up with a hook in my thumb right there, going to the ER. So I asked him that today, and he said, well, if you don't think I'm gonna be bad luck, he's not gonna be bad luck. Got quite a bit done today. It's a nice way to finish the day. Oh! Did he come off? I was gonna have you on video catching like a 4-pound bass.
I tried my best. That would get more views anyway. They like seeing people mess up.
You can catch that fish. You didn't spook him too bad. Give him a little bit of time to settle down, and you can get him again. Parker's hooked that fish twice and lost him, and he just now got him in. It's not bad. Topwater fish. Same bait I stuck a hook in my hand with. So we're officially back on the back in the saddle now. That's a good way to end the day. You know, when I first got into beekeeping, I thought extracting honey was just the coolest thing ever. Super rewarding. It's delicious. It's just so cool. Well, it is really fun for the first several thousand pounds, and after that it becomes a job. And I'm at the job point of honey extraction. You just want it to be over with sooner. It's still fun, it's still amazing. You know, I haven't lost all of that yet, but looking for ways to get more efficient with my time. I'm spending a lot of time in here this year. So in years past, I've used this Simple Harmony Farms roller uncapper, and it works pretty well. You know, I've been happy with the cost and what you get out of it, of that. But I saw this at the at Nobby. It's a Hilco slicer roller uncapper, whatever they call it, and it's heated. So I picked one of these up. It's a little bit more money, a whole lot less money than some of the other uncapping systems. And I gotta say, it works actually quite a lot better than the Simple Harmony Farms does. Set this thing at 140, and if I'm running a lot of frames through it, it'll get down to about 125 or so. If I let it sit for a while, it'll get up to 155, almost 160, but it'll cool back off, and it holds somewhere around 140 pretty reliably. But I have not cleaned this thing, and it's just amazing how it keeps the wax and honey off of it. And these, I was worried that these individual fins, they all roll. I was worried that wax would get in those gaps and bind it up, or propolis, but that has not happened. And I've run several hundred frames through it, probably 150 boxes so far. So 1,500 frames. And it's doing really good. I'm happy with that so far. So like most uncappers with relatively new comb, it will pull some comb off of the plastic foundation. But it ends up in the tank because that thing's heated. It doesn't get stuck and built up. And then some, it does really nice. Now, with these slicer uncappers, you don't net as high a percentage because it leaves these little flaps, and honey can get trapped in those flaps. So if you take one of these, you actually get quite a bit higher percentage extracted because it knocks those flaps down, breaks them up. I don't do that on every one, but it does help. I've still got a pretty good number of painted boxes, and those are good quality boxes with good quality paint. I did them all myself, but I am sorting those out as stuff comes out of the extractor. I'm setting these painted boxes aside, and I've got a stack of wax dipped boxes outside. So I'm putting all of my frames into wax dipped boxes, and then over the winter I'm going to wax dip all of my painted boxes because these are starting to get some wear on the corners and stuff, and I think I will get a few more years out of them if I get them wax dipped. So it's Friday evening, 6:30ish or so, I'm not real sure. Been a busy day. Got done with a yard of extracting today, so the honey house is cleaned out and ready to bring in 2 small yards tomorrow. I'm kind of scheduling my workload for school's back in, so Parker's in high school, so he's off on Saturday, available to work. So we're going to pull honey tomorrow, Saturday, when I've got him to share some of the heavy lifting. But I had some syrup in the tank on the trailer, and I really need to make another tank of syrup for the morning. So I got to get some bees fed tonight. And it's just been a busy week and running a little behind, but it's okay. Weather's not horrible, it's muggy.
Had a nice summer too.
Yeah, I've had 2 or 3 like this year. So this colony, I got them into 2 during the spring, put a queen excluder above, stacked them up with honey supers. There must have been some brood or something, or cell above the excluder, and then I always offset so bees have a way to get in and out of the top, and then of course they got an entrance to the bottom. We started pulling honey, and this one had a queen above the excluder, so I just broke it up separated all the boxes with queen excluders. Was able to find the queen in the top today. She's in my pocket here. And I went down to the second box, pulled the excluder off. I'm about to drop her in here. Oh, there's brood down here too. So this is a double queen colony, and there's a few ways I could fix this. It's probably a mother-daughter situation. where there was either a daughter or the mother above the excluder and then the daughter or the mother below the excluder. That's probably what's happened. I could pull a split out with this queen and try to get a split started, but this yard is covered up with hive beetles already. I don't make splits this time of year. I just don't. So what I'm gonna do is just drop this queen down into the bottom, and they can keep whichever one they want. Whichever one they think is better, they can keep. That's how we're gonna deal with this year. And I'll let this brood age out. They've actually got a little bit of nectar coming in, so I'm gonna put their empty super, or mostly empty super, right above the brood nest, and then let the brood age out in these. Hopefully they'll backfill that, and then in 25 days I can come get it. Taking a Sunday morning walk and collecting my thoughts, I guess. I really enjoy the seasonality of beekeeping as a profession. Some people are marathon runners. You know, they run a constant speed, do the same thing for days and weeks and months and years, and they do great at it. I am someone who does a lot better sprinting and stopping. Sprinting and stopping. Yesterday, I worked 14 hours. That wasn't 14, it was like 13 and a half or something like that. But one day last week, the day after we pulled honey, I woke up and felt tired and sore. Just didn't feel like doing much. So I didn't. I just did book work, office work, which is important, but it wasn't a 14-hour day. I really thrive on the variability of my schedule. I've got multiple tasks that need to be done, and I get to choose in what order and how to do them. And sometimes it just comes down to what I feel like doing and what I don't feel like doing. And that's okay. I really do enjoy that about this career.